Hi everyone, welcome to the Lollipop Shop digital layout class. This is from basicgrey.com and we're using the Basic Grey kit Lollipop Shop starter kit. So I'm going to walk you through the creation of this layout. It should go pretty quickly and there's not too many tricky steps. So those of you who are new to digital scrapbooking, this would be the perfect layout to jump in there and get your feet wet. I'm using Photoshop Elements 8 and I'm going to be kind of going through this a little bit quickly, so if you need to stop and pause and see what I've done, feel free to do so. This is the layout we're going to be creating. And of course you can replace the title with whatever title you'd like to go with your photos. But for me, this is my niece Eliza, and she's a very silly girl and is always hamming it up for the camera, but every once in a while I can catch her smiling. So I wanted to create this layout just for her. So I'm going to go ahead and just zoom out on this, and I'm doing that with Command Dash, or if you're on a PC it would be Control Dash, and it just makes it smaller. And I'm going to kind of slide that off to the side excuse me, just to remind me where I'm going. Okay, before we start, I want to make sure that we have a couple things selected set within the program to make it easier on us. With the Move tool selected, make sure you have Auto Select Layer checked. That'll make it easier as we click on different objects in the layout, and we can kind of move things around a bit easier that way. All right, we're going to start by creating a new 12 by 12 document. So I'm going to go up here to File, New, and Blank File. And I'm going to change it from pixels to inches because I want to make sure we're using the right size. And I'll change it to 12 by 12. The resolution should be 300 and it should be RGB. And we might as well name it now while we're here. Mine's going to be Silly Girl. I'll hit OK. So open this new document. Okay, so we're going to start out by kind of dragging out some different papers, and we're going to be changing the colors of the papers. And the reason I decided to do this was because the colors in the Lollipop Shop starter kit are so bright and vibrant. I really wanted them to stand out, especially against the sepia tone photos that I'm going to be using. So I'm going to start out with the red, and down here in the project bin, you don't even have to open the file individually. You can just click and drag. And the way I got those files down there was I just opened them all, and then they all appear down in the project bin. And these are the only files I'm going to be using. But if you want to make it even easier on yourself while you're creating your layouts, putting different elements from the starter kit on it, you could open every single element from the starter kit and you would have them all down in your project bin. Okay, so I've got the red paper and I'm going to change the color of it. I'm going to come up to Enhance, Adjust Color, Adjust Color, and I'm going to remove the color. We're going to be making it gray. Next, I'll go to Enhance, Adjust Lighting, and Brightness and Contrast. And I'm going to make it quite a bit darker. So I'm going to take the brightness down. I just want kind of like a nice slate gray. And I'll hit OK. Okay, the next layer we're going to be putting in this like white paper in the background. So I'm going to take in the purple since it's one of the lighter colors. It's just easier to start that way. And I'll click and drag into the document. And much the same as we did earlier, I'll do Enhance, Adjust Color, Remove Color, and then I'll come back and do Enhance, Adjust Lighting, Brightness and Contrast. And this time I'm going to take the brightness up quite a bit until it's more of like a light gray, nearly white. You can also adjust the contrast a little bit if you'd like. Okay, and the way I got this paper smaller was all you have to do was come up to the corners and start to just kind of drag in. It will keep its proportion, which is a square, 12 by 12. And then you can kind of move it around. Okay, and when you have it the size that you'd like, go ahead and click the green arrow at the bottom. Okay, so that's locked in. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to start placing our photos in. So I'm going to click on these and open them up. I have one more down here. And these are the sizes of these photos. I have 2 square photos that are 3 by 3 and 1 rectangle photo that's 4 by 6. So I'm going to go ahead and drag those over into the document. And I'm just using the Move tool still, and I'm clicking and dragging. Okay, I'm going to take these photos and I'm going to click and drag them, and they'll kind of snap into place. You can kind of see it snap. And this one will come up here and snap into place as well. So we've got this nice arrangement. Okay, these are always going to be together, so I'm going to go ahead and merge those layers. Come over here and you can see the 3 photos. And holding down the Shift key, I'll just select all 3. And then come up here and you can go to Merge Layers. That just makes it so the computer thinks it's all one photo. Okay, so I'm going to slide this off to the side a little bit. I can minimize these to get them out of the way. Now I'm going to put in some pattern papers, and I'm going to start with this polka dot pattern paper, and instead of dragging it straight onto the document, I'm going to open it first, and I just double click to open it. We only need a small portion of it, so I'm not going to copy over the entire pattern paper. I'm going to come over to the marquee tool, and I'm going to select the rectangular marquee tool. And I'm just going to get a good portion of the dots. And I'll do copy, which is Apple C or Control C if you're on a PC. You can also get it at the edit menu. Copy. I'll come over to our layout and paste. And select the move tool with the letter V so I can move it around. And I'll just slide it down a little bit. And I want it to be rotated a little bit, so I'm going to come up to the corner, and you'll see that the cursor changes from this arrow to kind of like this little curved arrows. That means I can rotate it. I'm going to slowly rotate it and hit the green check. Alright, I'm going to slide this layer behind the photos. Okay, I'm going to slide this up just a little bit. Okay, now we're going to grab some pink pattern paper. I'm going to do the same thing, double click to open it. And I'm going to select a really tiny portion. Maybe only about that thick. And I'll slide it down so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to go ahead and minimize these to get them out of the way. Okay, you'll notice on the original layout that there's this like stitching line through the pink. It's actually not stitching, it's just a dash line that I typed in. Okay, so I'm going to get my type tool, and I'm going to come down here and put it in right there. Now I'll change the type color by selecting or by clicking on this drop arrow tool and hit white. Okay. And now I'll just start, well, let's zoom in here so you can see what we're doing. I'll start typing in dashes. You can kind of see it going across. Those are a little bit too small, so I'm going to select all and change the point size to maybe 18. I'm just going to keep those dashes going all the way across. Okay, and I'll hit the green check mark to lock in those changes and select the move tool so that I can move this around a little bit. Okay, with both the text layer, the dash, and the pink layer selected, I'm going to come down here on the bottom of the layers palette, and there's a button here for link layers. That makes it so that they'll always move together. And I'm going to rotate those just a little bit and move it up and hit the check mark.